Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a buffed Power Axe build for the Vanguard class in patch 10.1 of Space Marine 2. Now the Power Axe did receive a buff in the hotfix here. The power wave damage has been upped by 66%, and they also switched the final perks around here, slash momentum and discharge being swapped. So the Power Axe is in a better spot, however, there is an unfortunate bug with the top tree currently, which is the perk Power Wave. Power Backstep Wave damages more enemies. If you take this perk, you'll actually lose out on the damage buff they did to Power Wave, which is pretty terrible, because Power Wave right now, the buff is like the most substantial increase to this whole weapon, which is kind of unfortunate. The whole top tree is broken here. But today we'll be talking about the bottom tree. So we take Perpetual Strength, moving over here into the perk Coup de Grace. The last strike of a light combo deals 25% more damage. Then I move over here into the perk Perpetual Strength once again, and take the perk Counterattack. The first light attack within 5 seconds after a perfect parry or perfect block deals 25% more damage. Then I move over here into the perk Riposte after performing a power backstep. Hold attack to perform an overhead strike. This perk is okay. I don't think it's like amazing by any means, but the overhead strike can be useful with the perk down here Discharge, which does give it like an AoE that can stagger some guys, but like the damage is really not really there, to be honest. The next perk I take after that is Hard Target. While performing a light combo, you take 15% less range damage. This is pretty damn good on both the fencing and balance version, because light attacks are kind of like the whole shtick with this weapon, especially on the bottom tree, and a 15% range damage reduction is pretty strong. Next perk I take here is Tactical Retreat. Power Backstep deals 25% more damage. Moving here into the perk Cleaver. Damage increases by 10% against Majora's level and higher enemies. This is a much better perk than most of the other like Majora's Extremis and Terminus Slayer perks, because you get them all in one. Pretty much a free damage buff for the most damaging enemies in the game, so a really strong option. And the next perk I pick up here is Rebound. Speed style attacks restore 100% more contested health. And the final perk we pick up here is Discharge. Overhead Strike deals damage around the target. Cooldown is 15 seconds. Like I said before, this perk is not incredible. It does help us stagger sometimes and has a pretty good synergy with Riposte. But if you want to swap out Riposte or this one for something like Perpetual Strength up here for a 5% melee damage buff, you definitely could. And as far as the variants for this weapon go, I would still take the balanced or fencing version. I took balance here today, though to be honest, fencing is probably better for gunstrike builds, but either way, it is up to you. Unfortunately, the block version does not have the power backstep whatsoever, so I would kind of avoid this as being like a shield bash bulwark build, but balance and fencing, pretty good options, and honestly, this weapon's power wave feels a lot better right now. And for the primary weapon selection here, I do take the range-based Melter Rifle. This thing got buffed in patch 9.0 to have a way better damage fall off, and it's honestly my preferred variant currently. And shockingly, the Melter Rifle is one of the most ammo-efficient guns on the Vanguard, because we have perks down here like Decisive Reload. Performing a finisher on a Majora's level or higher enemy with this weapon restores ammo by 1. Pretty damn amazing perk, I must say, and it really helps out the Vanguard a ton, because this class is not very ammo-efficient. This does solve that a bit. Next perk after this is Rapid Health. When your health is below 30%, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores health by 10%. This is an amazing perk, especially for the Melter Rifle that blasts through my Norris very easily, so it's very easy to trigger this as opposed to like an Oculus Bolt Carbine. And this thing also really helps us pick up perks like Inner Fire instead of Unmatched Zeal, because getting below 30% HP isn't too bad with Conviction and Fortitude, and having this extra CDR here really helps out a lot, especially if you have like a Bulwark on your team. You don't have to care about healing perks whatsoever, because usually they take things like Invigorating Icon anyways. Inner Fire is a way better enabler. We'll get into the perk tree later. For now, I want to talk about the next perk here, which is Great Might for 10% Terminus damage, and then move over here into the perk Divine Might for a 10% flat damage buff. Moving down the line to Extended Magazine, the perk here First Shot, and then picking up the perk Retaliation and grabbing the perk Perpetual Fire. Fire rate increased by 10%. And the final perk I want to talk about down here is Trick Shot. Killing 5 enemies with 1 shot restores 1 armor segment. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This perk is incredible. Once again, killing 5 enemies with 1 shot on a Melter Rifle is not very hard versus my Norris, and getting armor back in a Horde when we have a balanced weapon, very useful, because balance isn't like the best thing ever for parrying, can sometimes struggle versus my Norris, and this one really helps out a ton. And armor restores in Space Marine 2 are meta to begin with, because they have damage caps, HP does not, and that's why perks like Launch Restoration and Restoration on top of things like Trick Shot are just super good synergies, and honestly, this is just a very, very powerful perk whenever weapon you can find it on. Now for the secondary weapon here, I do take the Honorific Relic Tier Bolt Pistol. This is the new heroic variant of the standard bolt pistol with a 3-round burst mechanic, great headshot damage, amazing CHP recovery, and decent gun strike damage and ammo economy. Very strong option, super fun to use, and pretty good synergy with amazing perks like Elite Hunter. After killing a Majoris level or higher enemy with a melee weapon, headshots deal 50% more damage for 10 seconds. This perk can trigger off an execute and will also trigger off of things like Zone of Impact and Tactical Prowess. So great synergy there. Just keep in mind that to actually trigger this and have it be maintained, you do have to have the weapon equipped during the execute, and you also have to make sure you keep the weapon equipped while it is active, because if you swap your weapon out while the 10 seconds are going on, it will just deactivate automatically, which kind of sucks, which is the way it is. I also want to mention that the perk over here, Gunstrike Reload, is very good on this build because we are going to be parrying all the time with a balanced or fencing weapon. A great synergy there as well. And if you do want to take a different pistol, I would pick up the Heavy Bolt Pistol because this one does have a higher base damage for its Gunstrike, and that does help us out with things like Tactical Prowess and Zone of Impact here, as we'll get into later. Now for the Vanguard perk tree, I do pick up Upper Hand first. After a perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. No knockback in this game is incredibly valuable. It will simply save your life versus Raveners, Lictors, Sword Warriors, and the new Chaos Spawn, because Chaos Spawn especially love to stun lock you with like 5 guys at once. This can get you out of that, so really good perk for sure. Next perk here makes you incredibly tanky with Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. A 25% health damage reduction on top of a 15% health increase from Fortitude on top of drip-fed armor from Launch Restoration and Restoration makes it very easy to proc and makes you very tanky, I should say. And tankiness to your HP is worth more in this patch because previously the perk here, Close Combat Focus, you take 20% less range damage. This one was pretty good, but now there are also melee enemies that are all over the place in Chaos, so this one's just better in my opinion, so pretty much always pick this up. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores equipment charge by 1. The cooldown is 90 seconds. This perk is incredible, simply breaks the ammo pickup, or I should say the Melt-A-Bomb pickup economy of the game, because let's be real, you're going for the Melt-A-Bomb every time, and even 90-second shock nades, frag grenades, and cracks are still super amazing in this game. It simply saves runs, top tier perk for sure. Next perk I take here is Inner Fire. All squad members can restore ability charge by 15% by performing finishers on Majoris level or higher enemies. This perk will not only function on a finisher, it functions on just killing Majoris, so even better than it sounds, and this one is such an enabler for things like Auspex Scan, Iron Halo, even the Sniper's Camo Cloak charge that is currently broken, and especially the Bulwark banner with a Invigorating Icon or things like Glorious Shield, because more banners is super powerful in this game, and Vanguard's Inner Fire is one of the best team perks in the whole game, period. But if you do want to take the healing one here that a lot of people like, you definitely could, but honestly, I think Inner Fire can be better in a lot of cases. Next perk here is Restless Fortitude. After a diving kick, you take 40% less range damage for 10 seconds. This perk is amazing, though keep in mind this will not trigger off an execute from Tactical Prowess, so if you are to use your grapnel charge to execute an enemy, it will not trigger your Restless Fortitude, which does kind of suck. That's why we take Inner Fire and Combat Readiness here. When you get this 40% range damage reduction on top of a 25% health damage reduction from the Conviction perk here, you are very tanky, and it's a very good perk, especially versus Chaos now that shoots you all the time in between melee attacks, and Diving Kick in general just gets more value from this perk. Next perk here is Zone of Impact. Performing a finisher with the grapnel launcher deals damage to nearby enemies. This perk is a classic staple of the Zone of Impact Tactical Prowess combo, and the damage this thing does on an AoE is absurd. Stupidly powerful perk, kind of brain dead at times to be honest. It kind of carries this class's AoE, and now you can really trigger this off of the Tactical Prowess significantly easier because this perk reads, Grapnel Launcher can activate a finisher not only on incapacitated enemies, but also on those who have less than 33% health, except for Terminus level, and performing a finisher with the Grapnel Launcher restores its charge. Now, this perk has amazing synergy with things like the Heavy Bolt Pistol and the Heroic Bolt Pistol here with the Power X Power Wave, because oftentimes you'll parry, you'll do a Power Wave for bonus damage, and then you'll use your Gun Strike and get them to that 33% range. So very powerful option there for sure. And honestly, this is just like this perk combo here kind of carries Vanguard currently. And the final perk I pick up is Combat Readiness for a grapnel launcher recharge rate of being 20% faster, or excuse me, a grapnel launcher recharging 20% faster perk. Very strong option, and this one just gives us more grapnels, and more grapnels means more Restless Fortitude and more Tactical Prowess triggers, because occasionally this game will just body block you or bug out this perk and grapnel for no reason, so having Inner Fire and Combat Readiness really helps that out, and also just gives you more triggers off of Launch Restoration, which we'll get into in a second. Now For the Prestige perk tree here, I do take Battlefield Awareness first for a 10% increased range damage at close range. This is a pretty good perk for Vanguard because we're a melee class and we have a grapnel launcher. Next perk I take is Fortitude, health increases by 15%. This is a very powerful perk on whatever class it's on, and honestly, health increases in Space Marine 2 are just incredibly valuable, period, so pretty much always pick this up. The next perk I take is Launch Restoration. Using the grapnel launcher restores one armor segment. This perk is incredible, especially since we get more grapnels off of things like Combat Readiness and Inner Fire, and this perk will also trigger off of a Tactical Prowess combo. So basically, you will use your grapnel, you'll get the one armor back from Launch Restoration, and then you will execute the guy off of the Tactical Prowess trigger and get another armor back. So that basically counts as like a full armor restore, so pretty great combo there. And the final perk I grab here is Restoration. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores one armor segment. Cooldown is 15 seconds. It's just an extra armor restore perk, really top tier perk as well. It's also on the heavy, and we can also combine this with the Melter Rifle's Trick Shot to get us like 2 armor back off like a single Minotaur Swarm. So a really good combo there as well. That's pretty much all there is for this Power Axe build. The Power Axe feels a lot better with the Power Wave buff. I'm sure this is like the first buff line or like buff wave they're doing to this weapon. There'll be more in the future, but for now it's definitely in a better spot. Hopefully they fix the top tree here at some point because this one's actually pretty good. Unfortunately, Power Wave damage is just too important to not take. And the big benefit of the Power Axe on Vanguard is the Power Wave will take you out of range of the enemy to actually use your grapnel. It's kind of a problem with like the base builds, and that's pretty much all there is to it. If you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, thank you for watching and take it easy.
Aliens are running out of time. How close are you? Reaching the facility now. You are making good time. Here comes the minute.
Warriors blocking pyro shots ain't fun. You can still burn them. But you gotta do direct damage to them or still burn them through their block.
No turning back now.
Wait, the heroic bolt pistol is less gunstrike damage than the normal one? Yeah, by like 2 points, so it's like super negligible.
Use the codes to break the bomb and finish its deployment into the Cryptomethium well. Cautiously, if you know what is good for you. Better charm than a saint's bones.
Pretty sure it's a Stalker. It's Fire Blaster, Plasma, and Stalker do the most on, and Bolt Carbine do the most on Tactical. They're all good though.
I shall stay dead, run. Take it apart.
The axe any good? Yeah, it's pretty good. He definitely knows the power wave damage buff.
Ready in payload delivery. Rites of activation have been observed. The generators hum in the machine god's name.
I realize how hard the hard strategies would be. They can be pretty difficult. Probably the hardest content in the game right now. They're like absolute difficulty plus. Plasma Incinerator is hard carried by Plasma Boost. Well, yeah, but that's all it needs to be.
The enemy has eyes on generator 3. Biological accumulation of generator 3. Probable avian infestation. No hope and no brains. Arming up. X-axis aligned. By the Omnissiah's will. Hurry it up, machine! Reloading! Running! Going for generator 1!
Generator 1, that's my favorite generator.
Unauthorized personnel. Observe your duties.
This Pro Tree is terrible compared to Heavy Plasma. Well, Heavy Plasma is like one good build, so I don't know if I'd say that. They're both pretty limited. With Heavy Plasma, you either take ammo efficiency and heavy immunity, or you're gimping yourself.
Margin of error 0.0 millimeters. Blessed be the Omnissiah's divine precision. Blessed be. Now deploy the damn bomb. Run interference for generator 4. Hook available.
Generator 4 is my fourth favorite generator.
Climbing is not permitted while in operation.
Let's do it this way.
Demolition deployment sequence concluded. No errors logged under the Omnissiah's watchful oculus. Captain, it is done. Now let us watch the Xenos burn. There is an observation platform overlooking the Cryptomethium fields. It will make a good vantage for
Okay,
your
we're either gonna
operation.
have an easy game, or we're about to get a bunch of boss bombs just tossed at us here.
Come out, you traitor Xenos! Vanguard is screaming for help! Silence them! Tether unbound! Disappointing! Into the fray! Feel your minds! What needs grappling? Grappling launch! So and so eliminated!
Managed to do the hard stratagem first try. Oh yeah, dude.
Do not get turned
It's hard.
around.
A little easier now, but it's definitely hard. Let's play Bulwark and it's a cakewalk? True. I play Bulwark for all the hard stratagems, so I can just snooze past through it.
Closing the gap! Swapping out magazine!
But Butcher is the most satisfying enemy to parry with? I think so too. You kind of just like cast him out of midair. He's also one of the only enemies that has like no parry chains, where you can't parry in the first hit. Oh. Right, that was a bit ambitious of me to try to dodge that at that range. Oh, right, this guy actually does good damage to this guy for the range.
One down. Trillions to go. Closing the gap. What needs grappling? Into the more of the death. Reloading.
I can definitely kill him for this. If I did the same damage we did last time. Isn't that hard to do? Alright, we're gonna get a back-to-back boss spawn. Let's find out.
We have arrived at Nozik's facility. Run distraction efforts as long as you can. I will fight in the thick of his
Everyone, what's up, Abner?
I will hold you to that.
Question, how do you feel about the axe versus knife debate? I feel like knife is definitely better than the axe for single target shadow stab. But this thing has better horde clearer, I'd say, with the whirlwind. Better for gun spikes as well. I'd rather have a balanced axe than a balanced knife, I think.
View your packs, brothers.
Alright, so the final boss is probably coming.
Finished and ready. Cut their call for help.
Wow, he went and raged mid-grapple.
Disappointed. Walk available. Finish range and bolt of fire.
Alright, that's unfortunate.
Watching out magazine.
Alright, I really need to feed off of you guys.
Wonder how many I could down before they got me. What needs grappling?
How about quick? I might be able to grab this.
Tether 'em down. Magazine in. What needs grappling? Swapping out magazine. Pus-filled sack of scything extract.
That range damage reduction definitely helps. Restless Fortitude there.
Good to go. Charges set. And the
Fragments.
swarm approaches. Dig in. We need that bomb triggered for optimal yield. Orbital scan estimates.
Force could have won if they chose Gork and Mork instead of the puny Chaos Gods. True. Since we have flamers, I think melta weapons should be reversed into anti-armor slug weapons. That would be cool.
They come.
That's what they're supposed to
Wondered
be.
how I might pass the time.
Alright, we're getting a boss spawn here for sure. I'm pretty sure there's damage fall off the gun. I don't know what it is, but we're probably gonna find out.
Pull the legs off some Xenos. The bulk of the swarm is continuing along the predicted path. Continue holding. Let that sword go from into the morgue. Hulk available. Crack grenade deployed. Arming up.
Tragic.
That bossy council Rebel, towards our back.
Hey, what's the end game of this game? I'm mid through the campaign. Accolades grinding. Accolades grinding, probably. I'd say.
was worried me. They are here! Clear the deck! One down. Trillions to go. Out! Magazine! The swarm has almost fully committed. Be ready for my mark.
Oh, that actually pulls me. There's nothing better than Hork now. You can buy with the ulti gun that pops.
Reloading!
Only one boss.
You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards. I am going to enjoy watching these tyrannies ride in the flame. This is Decimus. Wish you could see these dead bastards. Tyranid biosigns down 90% and falling. Swarm annihilation.
That's the buff power axe. Pretty fun.
Excellent one. Move to extract. Extraction complete. Returning.
All right. Let's see. Forty-four thousand range damage, 27,000 melee damage, pretty even. This is a hybrid class, so that all of that was from gun strikes too. Definitely feels a lot better, guys. Gotta say that.